Okay, we're here with Staxwell on the Pro Tour Baltimore.
What's up, gamers?
How are you doing?
Pretty good. Pretty good. I am 6-3 right now, so it's not terrible. Not great, but not terrible.
Have you been enjoying the weekend so far? Did it a great event?
Yeah, it's fantastic. Having a lot of fun. Love Flesh and Blood. This is the first huge level event I've been able to participate in, so having a blast. Yeah.
And we want to touch a little bit on your Yu-Gi-Oh experience for today.
All right, yeah, let's talk about it.
Just introduce a little bit. What was your experience in Yu-Gi-Oh like? Like, how long did you play and what formats like?
I played Yu-Gi-Oh like my whole life, 10 years or something like that. Wow. I started in Edison format. That's when I started playing Light Sworns, Black Wings, and I played off and on, but more on than off until Bird Up. So less than a year ago, I would say, and went to tons of YCSs and high level events and things like that. And I had a lot of fun in Yu-Gi-Oh, but it's just not the same game it used to be, if that makes sense. It's not as back and forth. It's more combo oriented and things. And I enjoy that player interaction a lot, so that's why I like Flesh and Blood.
Yeah. When did you enter Flesh and Blood, and was it like you were leaving Yu-Gi-Oh and then coming to Flesh and Blood, or how was it like?
I was just kind of sick of Yu-Gi-Oh, so I was looking for another game, and then the Uprising sneak peek tournament, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, it was in Las Vegas, so it was a big 3v3 event. I was like, all right, I'll check out the game, I'll see what's going on, and then as soon as I went to that, I played a little bit before that with Blitz pre-cons, and I was like, it's cool. And then once I went to that tournament, it was just on. The fire was lit, and I was done with Yu-Gi-Oh, and I was all in on Flesh and Blood. Yeah.
What was the most exciting part for you on the pre-release for Uprising?
Just the game. The game is fun. That's what I always say. How do you get new players in the game? Just let them play. The game, it literally speaks for itself. So when you play it, it's just fun. Yeah.
And the Yu-Gi-Oh, the last year or so was not that fun anymore for you. What exactly was making you upset about the game?
I took a long hiatus, right? So the last time I played before Bird Up format was BA, Shadow, and stuff like that. And that format was very interactive, back and forth, trap cards, as well as hand traps. There's many interactions between players. Now it's just I set up a board with 5 negates, and then you have to have hand trapped, multiple hand traps to out it, or you just lose. The game doesn't really go more than 3 turns. It's just I'm not saying it's not skillful, it's just a different skill set than I enjoy playing. Yeah.
And what do you still love about Yu-Gi-Oh?
I mean, the IP, Blue Eyes White Dragon is still sick, Dark Magician's still sick, Seto Kaiba. All of that stuff I very much enjoy, and I hope they can kind of capture that magic of the IP in this game, but that's something only time will be able to test, right? So, yeah.
And do you see some similarities in Flesh and Blood to Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yes, I think it's very unique too, Yu-Gi-Oh, because a lot of Flesh and Blood players are Magic players, and there's not a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players that play Flesh and Blood.
Yeah.
And Yu-Gi-Oh is an ever-living game with no rotations, just like Flesh and Blood is. So I do a lot of market watch content, and that's why there's so much layover in that. I could see a card and I'm like, oh, this will be good for the next 5 years, and that's something enticing to Magic players too. They don't want to buy decks just to have them rotate, so yeah, that the longevity of the game is kind of what helped me in this. And then I feel like it plays more like Yu-Gi-Oh than it does Magic too. Just the gameplay of it, you play all your cards, it's not like mana, it's not slow like that, it's fast paced and everything. So a lot of similarities.
Man, what comes to my mind right now is you're like the House of Champs of Flesh and Blood. Do you know him?
Shout out House of Champs, bro. Yes. All right. So because of his kind of content and MCO 40 and all those market watches, I was spoiled. I was used to that. So I go to YouTube for Flesh and Blood and I type in Flesh and Blood market watch, and there was nothing. And I'm like, I gotta do all this research myself. And I'm like, if I'm looking into it all, I might as well just make a video on it, and I didn't expect anything to happen of it, but then, yeah.
You're doing an amazing job for sure. You're really remembering of the Market Watch stuff that I saw in Yu-Gi-Oh for sure.
Oh, it's 100% inspired from them. Yeah, 100% inspired from them. I was used to that, and then coming over here and not having it was kind of sad. So now other players have it, I guess.
We needed that in Flesh and Blood, and you filled that place. Really.
That's very good, yeah.
And yeah, speaking for Yu-Gi-Oh players that maybe watch this video, like, what would you say to those players when they think about trying out a new game like Flesh and Blood?
I would say if you enjoy like the old Yu-Gi-Oh, or if you're mad, like, I mean, every Yu-Gi-Oh player knows like there's just unwinnable games, you know, like if they just open the nuts and you don't have like the 3 hand traps needed to stop it or whatever. That doesn't exist in Flesh and Blood. It's the better player wins most of the time, like 90% of the time. So much that some people are like, is the better player winning too much, you know? So if you're a spike in Yu-Gi-Oh and you enjoy winning and being the better player and everything, Flesh and Blood is like the home for you, you know? Like, you're gonna win if you're the better player, and that's why I enjoy the game so much, yeah.
All right, I think your round is starting soon, so let's continue on another day.
All right, sounds good.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.